This is Caterina Falcomer's work is the importing and selling of Murano Glass here in the Netherlands. Started, I think 8 years ago. Yes, and it started as a small home-run business, and then I decided that it was better to have a shop. Glass in Venice is a very long history. It started more than 1,000 years ago. It has then developed in the centuries to become a very important part of the Venetian economy. In the 13th century, they moved all the the furnaces. To make glass, you need to have fire, and at that time the houses were made of wood. So the government of the Republic decided to move all the furnaces to this islands, because there are three major small islands, a cluster of islands that is called Murano. So because it had become such an important part of the Venetian economy, a big chunk of the annual GDP, that the Venetian government decided that they wanted to protect the know-how, and so they didn't want the maestro to go abroad and to teach their art in other places. Venetian, the Murano's maestro have been always developing new techniques to show their and to improve their craftsmanship. And so they developed different techniques in the centuries, and these were all blown glass. So it was mainly maestro were almost only men, because they needed the big lungs to blow the glass. While the other important product of Murano glass is the beads, the glass beads. Why they are important? Because they were the exchange. They were used as exchange goods in the colonies, and the beads were made by women at home. A small. They just needed a little flame and a few glass rolls to make the beads, so it could be made much easier. They didn't need the big furnaces and also the manpower to make the glass. But even the beads had a very important economic impact for Venice and for Murano. For example, there's one particular bead that has been produced since around the 1400, and it's the only bead that has a name. So in English these are called chevron because have this pattern, and in Italian they are called rosetta. This particular bead has been produced from that time until nowadays, and it was very important also for economical exchange between the Venice Republic and Amsterdam, because they used that bead to buy goods in the colonies. And for example, this bead here is called, in Dutch, is called the slaafketting, because you could buy with a necklace made of this, you could buy a slave. The Dutch and the English kept on trading human beings for centuries. Venice, in the year 900, not 1900, in the year 970 or something like that, decided that slavery was not allowed. What it's important about glass and the craft people, the maestro, that they always were trying to innovate. So it's that with the innovation, through the innovation in design and techniques, they had a very big impact in the economy of the Venetian Republic. That was then a global economy. Blown piece, and all the maestro, even nowadays, they make their own glass. So each maestro has its own colors. Okay. And then, for example, this has been, this effect is made with some kind of salt, and then this is with this line, this spiral line. It's done in one time without ever stopping, and it's done with a diamond point. And so this is, all the pieces are always signed by the maestro.
Oh yeah?
While beads are done one by one, built on a metal small rod. So this is a small bead and it's a bigger bead. And these are made melting glass. If you think of the flame here, you melt the glass while turning the metal rod and collecting the melted glass on the rod to build up the bead. Of course, using pieces of glass canes that were already. There is only a few people that make the glass canes with the metal bit and they get attached to each other. Okay, but then these are made important because if it's too small pieces, cold, the glass will not melt and to make different not attached to each other. If it's too hot, small, then the colors will start running. These are then set together on a